Good evening, everyone. It is Saturday, May the 9th. Happy Mother's Day tomorrow to all the mothers out there. I managed to do some more work on this script project from last weekend. And yeah, I managed to do some refactoring a little bit, dividing it up into functions. So I've got glow data function here wrapped around getting the global data from the public API. I'll show you the API. Here's the site here, the novel COVID API. Pretty cool stuff. They've got all kinds of documentation. It shows you the form of the link, or if you were going to do a curl request. Here's the request URL. I used the request module in Python, and it gives you a rough idea of what the data looks like that you're getting, so that you can set up your code ahead of time. So pretty interesting little website that offers most of this data for free. That site itself, I will say that I noted in a couple of my graphs from last week that it's an aggregate from several different. He's got stuff there from Johns Hopkins and from the Worldometer and other sites like that. So going back to what I did, yeah, you can see all the stuff I imported up here, and yeah. Then a couple of them I haven't used yet. I want to use Pandas module, and there's some motivation that started this script with the whole, hey, why don't I just grab some public data and take a look at it rather than watch all the news. So here I've done some better commenting in each function now. And now that it's set up in a functional blocks, so the next function down is the country data there. Output a specific column, sliced, clean list of select countries. So yeah, I pretty much just listed them here, right up here in the URL query. So there's the country list. A future version I could do now with each one of these functions here, I could actually take some user input. For example, list your countries, or just maybe dialog box like a number menu, so that they don't have to type anything. So select countries from a list and just have a list put out. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, and just list of 10 or maybe a dozen sort of interesting countries. I don't know. I think by default this file, the JSON files, has the data from all the countries affected, like, I don't know, over 200. But getting off track there. Pretty interesting that you could probably just do a user input there, so people could select the countries they wanted for their country data. Again, that's converting the data frame to HTML and saving it to a local HTML file. So that's what's happened. I've run the script once and it didn't crash, so that's good news. And I did get the HTML files as very simple, clean looking tables, which was really cool. It'd be an easy way just to move those into a folder, fire them off in an email, so somebody could just look at the tables of the data. Even import them into their Excel or whatever they're more familiar with. Okay, and I do this process for each block. of the script that was getting, for example, the Canadian historical data and then the American historical data. And I run the script a couple times. Once today, and I was able to save the graph for the last 30 days. But the ones I want to host on my site will be like at the end of May. So I've got the one up there from near the end of April, 28th of April. So basically for the month of April. And then the next one I'll put up is for the month of May, so that we can have them all there for comparison. But in the meantime, I can get up-to-date table data listed in these locally saved HTML files. So I do it again down here for the country data right here. So saving it to the country's HTML. And that's about it. I can show you the HTML files. So here's the one for the countries. There. It's got the date, country, Canada. Here's all the countries. Just does them over and over again. And then we can do there's the American historical up to today. See, May 9th. So that many cases, like over a million, 1.3 million. Oh my God. 78,000 deaths. So yeah, crazy stuff. But that's for people who just want the file, just want to look at the table, don't want any drama, just need the numbers. All right, you get the idea. I can open the other table as well, I think, for the Canadian. Control O. Oh, there's there. Can historical there. And again, just for this particular part of the novel one here, the API, they don't have the recovered on this particular group, but it is on the other one. On the other, I guess, category one. Okay, so that's it. That's the script modified, excuse me, into function blocks that I can now possibly do other things to in a more modular way, like put these out through app routes in a Flask page, something like that. But that's a little bit ahead of the game. At this point, I think what I might do is just try some more graphs to come out of it. Try to fire up GeoPandas, add a couple of geographically scattered plots, things like that, through the states. Nice. We can actually run the script, and that's the output of the first Canadian 30-day historical. The orange is steadily rising. That's the deaths, and the cases. Cases are still going up. So kill this, opens this another window, which is the next function in the script. And now we have the American. And I've already saved these, but this is the nice thing about excuse me, matplotlib. There we go. And now we have the updated versions of those HTML I just wrote those data frames that were dumped to the console here. So these tables that were laid out to the bash shell are also here. There's the countries. There's the global stacks. And the American historical. 30 days up till today. The cases, the deaths, and recovered. Those are the ones I selected. I'm sure they had other columns, but there we go. We got those files. Those could easily be simply written into a directory, like collected in their own directory as well, to be shipped off to somewhere, or emailed even. You could have the script auto email the little zip file or tarball of all this data and the example graphs. Okay, so now I got to find the other window. Thanks for checking in at pingshells.com. Please visit my site and drop your email on this page, and a username. For example, a username that you'd like to use on my site when I finally get around to building some sort of a blog for it, or you could also contact me online, and that's all at the about as well, and some cat videos. Alright, be safe and enjoy data hacking with Python and Pandas.